So this is the kind of second cluster of extension motions. So what we're doing now is third position in two motions, depending on the date of the treatise. In later ones it becomes basically one motion. For reasons unknown, they get rid of the kind of transition thing. But the deal is, basically what you're learning to do now is do a lunge with a completely straight leg. So what you don't want to do is power the lunge by, just straightening that leg like you would if you're doing maybe something like that. I don't know the mechanics involved, but basically what they're doing is they're freezing you into this kind of straight leg so that you have to lunge without a bending and re-straightening of the leg. And how do you prepare for that? And that is, I think, what is being taught. So again, first position. And then, now it's really important. You want to get that extension through the hips so you can pull them down into a neutral position that's under tension as opposed to a, completely limp neutral, which won't serve you very well. Okay, so I'm pulled in, and it gets a little bit weird. So in the first versions of it, what you've got is this idea that the front heel is being raised a tiny bit, and the body is inclined towards the right. And for some reason I'm doing everything left-handed. I can do the other one if you want. And I'm pretty sure that corresponds with the second kind of phase, pronation phase. So extension, we're now in this sort of supinated, bringing everything in phase. And then when you do you switch over to the second one, where the hips are coming in, shoulders are coming in, hands are pronating, feet are pronating. That is when you want to raise that heel a tiny bit. In some treaties, it's literally just just enough that a piece of paper could slide under your heel. In some pictures, it's quite obvious that it's coming up a bit. I don't think the degree to which it comes up is that relevant, but for training purposes, it might have been better to have it more visual. Anyway, and then when you've got that, as you kind of incline, it's a little bit hard to describe, you're bringing this towards the side that you want to strike with. And that, while kind of pushing into the heel, and first bit of that, and that will drive you forward without any need to bend and straighten. So that extension motion on itself, you might want to practice a bunch of times just to get that straight. So extend so you can bring it back into neutral in that supination phase. Switch over to pronation phase, and then raise the heel a tiny bit. I should step in frame. Tiny bit, and then start to bring that shoulder towards that hip while pronating both. And then once you've mastered that, or actually don't wait till you've mastered that before you move on. Well, we get to about here, and then you want to go into the third extension motions. So basically we've done all this. We're out in third position. Hopefully it was a good one. It doesn't matter if it was a little bit half-assed, because then we're doing we're taking the hands that were behind your back. And in each case, it's always the front hand kind of supporting the back hand. So we're in that position. So we go into the supination phase, And that will bring the hands forward a little bit. And again, you just want to solidify that. Make some fists, supinate that as much as you can. And now we switch back over to the pronation phase. And then you want to raise that. And then eventually go into extension. So the idea is that I'm on the lunge, but I've still gone through these same phases. And this will put me into a really extended lunge. And then if you're going old school, you want to do this trick where you're bringing that elbow in to your knee, maintaining that upright posture. And then supinate, sorry, you've supinated in as much as you can. Go to pronation, bring that elbow up, and shoot out again. Whew. So basically, you're just going through those same 3 phases. So you're here, so if you've got the no arms lunge, where you're in extension, cycle through those same phases to do an exaggerated lunge. Cycle them again. Supination, drawing everything in, pushing out pronation and extension. And then, if you're not old school, you've skipped that previous exercise and you are just going to straighten everything up as much as you can, kind of just maxing that extended supination thing. And then back down. Ooh, and back to first position. Oh, and that's a bit of work. Ooh. And you're done. If you're doing Bertrand Brown, he has another exercise that doesn't seem to appear anywhere else, which is position and lunge by number. So he's basically just sinking into second position. Right. So get to second position, and then bring the hands up to the armpit, and do that. Yeah. We'll look at that later. It's really good because you're basically learning to do everything from second position, which is where you kind of should be. I'm not sure whether anyone actually fought in first position or if it was purely a training thing. Something to look at. But there you go, the last extension motions.